So tonight we're going to talk about the Insolvency Act and Bills of Sales Act, and also like to give a quick introduction as well, if that's possible. Yeah, tonight's YouTube shenanigans will be on the Insolvency Act. So I'll switch to me camera so you can see, and then we're gonna read some case law, and we're gonna go on to the net and then look at some insolvency act, and we're gonna look at how securities and bonds work and how you can benefit. I'm tired because me and overthinking. We'll throw some news in now with the pubs opening up. Barbers now. Right, we're going to talk about. I love the Data Protection Act, right? Because you can catch them out doing it. Barbers are now asking for your data. Well, and I've got certain peers saying, "Oh, you've got to do this," and no, you don't have to do anything. You as a fiduciary means position of trust or a trustee, because we're all trustees and beneficiaries, which we'll get into the next. I'll do a video about purely on trust tomorrow. We'll do an hour long on trust and equity, and I'll make some suggestions. They're trying to. This could be a theory, but they're saying for 21 days they need to hold your data for track and trace. This is the funny bit, right? How can a 99% virus or survival rate, right? This is a scam, right? Government has no jurisdiction. It's a company, right? If you prove that to them and they refuse you a service, they'll just go bust. So people acquiesce to their doctrine, and they're going to end up dead and vaccinated. I've always felt like that when I was in a mental institute, so, I just fucking broke down because all the bullshit was going on. I'm getting therapy, but that is, I like to go off subject, so if I go off subject, I go off subject. I need a background for this phone. So we'll get into it in a bit. It's just let me go on me subject so I can ease me thoughts, instead of clouding them up, because I feel better when I talk to myself on the phone. Just put it on tube and just see where it goes. Probably ban me anyway. I don't care if you ban me. I've only got fucking 24 subscribers, but I love them all. Road to 50 subscribers. Got to do it for the fam. I'd love to have 50 subscribers and see where we go from there. And if we want, I'm going to do a big shout out to SPL's Pro and all them, because, I went through a dark period at the time. I used to speak to someone on games console, and he always used to put me down, say, you can't do this and that, and then I forgive someone here saying you won't be able to do this, but he's all right. That's someone else that I know, but I'm quite close to him. But yeah, I'll leave it there for now. But I'll forgive him. I've also forgive him as well, but he'll perish. Yeah, I think in Sunday we just do astrology and stuff. Yeah, and what's going on in the world? They want to initiate a data so they have full control of you, because they know, i.e., government/corporation, no, they need your consent to the data to track and trace, so they can put in their possibly facial recognition and agenda, just basic Agenda 21 bullshit, Sorry about that. You probably know my pin for. Yeah, just for an haircut, you just go in, get your haircut, and piss off. There's your tenner. Even that's not fucking real. Sorry for the language, but people need to understand going to work and getting taxed isn't living. I might claim benefits, but people think they're so entitled to things, and they're not. I'm just happy getting by doing little projects. If I could come off benefits and really grow a business and just help people, that'd be good. Put that into some form of enterprise. Really help people that need it. Just people don't need to live like dogs. No, piece and shit phone. Is it still recording? Yeah. Yeah. As well. Let me know in the comments if you want to do 2 blogs a day. I might do that. Just 2 blogs a day. Just because I get bored and stuff like that. Yeah. This track and trace bullshit, right? I was tested negative for COVID. There is no COVID, right? How can something abbreviated certificate of vaccination identification be outcome of the disease when the actual disease says in the coronavirus? I'll get it here. It says it here. Coronavirus. We'll get that up. Meaning of coronavirus and terminology. Well, if you've got anything that so coronavirus means COVID-19, the efficient. All right, so 1, it's in American Sign Language. Certificate of Vaccination ID, which was all part of Event 201. Mm. Ah. Well, anyway, it's curable. So that's what it basically means. If you read through that, yeah. So it's an acute respiratory. So it's basically SARS. That's all it is. And that I think it's H1Z1. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. A bit of coconut oil, and if people understood homeopathic remedies and astrology, they wouldn't need hospitals and stuff. And I abuse my body, so that's why I probably broke down and shit and just fucking just went, oh, yeah, just went out. Started singing in the street. I can sing as well, believe it or not. Might sing you a quick blues song before I head off. So we're gonna get into it quickly and sufficiently. So we go into the camera. No, right. Sorry about that. So if any mistakes come up, I'm just gonna unedited. I can't be asked to edit the video. Oh, where's the camera? Camera. Is... Oh, camera. Yeah. Here's me books. There's my hand. So we're gonna read what the Roma clause is, and we're gonna look at the Bills of Sales Act. I've got a book on Roy Good on credit and legal problems. I'm going to look at the concept of security and also explain why UCC is not really applicable in this country because we don't really have a registry system through the UCC in England. We have something called company registers, or we don't really have a filing system, which Louise Gulliver, she sits on the QC. Fantastic author. Love her books. So we're going to look at this case law called Aluminium Industry Vassal versus Roma Aluminium, which is the famous Roma clause, which you'll read in me Benjamin's, and look at the advantages and the disadvantages of the clause. And we're going to look at the case. I'm going to break it down, and then I'm going to show you some statutes, and we're going to really break it down and really try and keep it simple. Right, so I don't want to make it if it's too complicated, it's not worth doing. If you can put it on a jam sandwich, yeah, I'm trying to make sense for the people who just don't know. We're human beings. We're not supposed to know everything. If you think you know everything, you don't learn nothing. Yeah, and that was part of me schizophrenia. I just got complacent and just, yeah, I just went mad, wanting to burn them 5G towers. I couldn't be arsed with them, if they do flick on the switch and somehow we manage to die, I would have lived a good, honest life. So, yeah, he's one of them, but I'll carry on. I need a drink. Oh, the camera just went bust. Hang on. Oh. I'll bring the book over here. Oh. So many mistakes. Dyspraxia. Oh, sticky shoulder. Oh, yeah. As long as I've got this camera for this camera is actually really good. Look at how good that camera is. I thank someone for picking this phone up for me when I wasn't ill. Don't want to disclose who that is, but I might show my face one day, but I might do once I get to like 50 subscribers. What do you reckon? Face reveal at 50. I'll even put a picture on my Facebook for 50 subs. Right, so where was I? At the Rome clause. So I'll read it to you. And in the comments, if you want to put any questions in or any lack of understanding, I'll try and help you. And the title of the book's called Commercial Law. I've got a good version of that. So they have no right, these people, to get your data, because that'd be coercion, that, under the Nuremberg Code. Well, I'm sitting in a fucking bed sitting ill. Oh, fuck me, I'm tired. Oh, I'm not being negative, I'm just being blunt. I'm just tired. I just want to do a YouTube video every day. And I'll see if it grows people's interest with the awaken movement. So that's a good market to be in, because if you're honest and passionate about it, I am passionate about it, because I think I've got something good to offer, which is I don't think is on YouTube or has been broken down concisely enough, which I try and do because I've got learning difficulties and stuff. So that's just life. Right, so we're going to talk about aluminium industry vassal versus the Rome-Per. So it's known as the Rome-Per clause, which is in this book. Oh, where's the? So I had the purple book of the. I had the purple book of this. Oh shit! The camera went off. I had the purple book of this. I went ill and that's the night. And I'm missing the King James Bible as well. Love the King James Bible. So we're gonna read something here. The Rome-Per clause. Right. I'll explain it to you. Right, so there's the case citation there. Queen's Bench. Citation means, say for example, the abbreviation of it, which I'd highly recommend a book called, let me get it. Where is it? Sorry about that, but Index into Legal Citations and Abbreviations by Donald Radestick. So a citation would have the year that the case was, the addition of whatever the abbreviated words were on the page of that book or journal that would be in. Not bad for someone with dyspraxia, but that is my best interpretation of a citation. And also, I'll try and break down the legal jargon as well and put it into concise manner. So it's basically, if you're stuck as well, and I'll even show you how to write your own letters. Don't use templates. Please, if you're going to go down this road for people who've got mortgages and stuff, don't use other people's templates. You can't. You've got to make. Oh shit! You've got to make your own mistakes. And I found that a lot with this legal stuff. They're saying, don't make mistakes. No, make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you learn. Because then you can make the correct risk. Risk management. He who dares wins. So we'll move into the Roma clause now. An AV Dutch company supplied foil to the Roma plate in England in AIV standard terms of parts, which quoted by judgment of Mocha J. Roper went into receivership owning AIV 1. I think that's like 120. Could be wrong. £122,239. The receiver had in his possession an unprocessed aluminium foil worth up to £50,000 and 35 represented proceeds of sub-sales of foil which have been made. I'm shit at reading. But I'll give it a go. Made by Roper, it would be that the AV claimed to be unprocessed and foiled prevailed over. I'll read it for the camera. Over because it affected the retention of title. We'll talk about that. We'll go into detail with retention of title or passing of title because it's all to do with title. Your IOUs, your banknotes, it's passing of title. Everything is title, whether it's good or defective title. It's title that makes things move, when you pass. When you pass something, you become the beneficiary of that. So once you pass that title, once you pass that title in due course, which means without negligence or omission, you become the receiver of the stuff, and you hold that as the beneficiary. Yeah, because the Bens don't pay. Bens never pay. Always free certainties and trust. I'll explain that in another video, and you can go back to this video and think, all right, makes sense. Everything I say, I'll try and make sense. Right, so where was I? Yeah, represent the sub-sales. The role the AIV claim was unprocessed. Foil prevailed that the receiver, because the AIV had retained title to it, that the AIV was entitled to the money representing proceeds of the sub-sales, which is what I was saying. Exactly what I was saying. On the basis that the doctrine of the equitable tracing established in real estate. So it goes back to Robert Kiyosaki again and his Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Mockaday and his lordship continue. I need to get me water. Oh, fuck me. Like I said, this is going to be the most unedited video on YouTube ever. I don't care how many views it gets. This will be room, by the way. There's my book collection. Right. Oh, fuck. Fuck's sake. Right. When was I right at the top? The first sentence of the clause reads as follows. The ownership of the material delivered AAV that the planters will only be transferred to the purchaser when he's met owing to AAV, no matter on what grounds. So the ownership of material. Right, so let's think about that. Some things you have to think about, and then you can teach, and you can work with it. So pretty self-explanatory. The purchaser, the one who gives title to it, using equitable tracing, which could be a check, which he would have paid him anyway by check, no doubt about it. Which brings in, they would have had securities and stuff. I'll explain it all. Right, so Shorty. There we go. A surety of full payment what the purchaser owes to the AIV, the end of the area purchase now agreement, that the ownership of the articles in question, whether finished or not, are to be transferred to AIV, that this transfer of ownership will be considered and taken place through the movement of single operation event, which is material converted into new objects and mixed, which becomes a constitute or an other object until full payment of what the purchaser owns, and if required shall store these objects in such way that they can be recognized as such. Nevertheless, the purchaser will be entitled to sell these objects to a third party within the framework of normally carry on his business, and to deliver the condition that AIV, which is aluminium instrument vessel, the purchaser will not be fully. The purchaser, as long as he's not fully discharged of debt, AIV shall hand over to the claims he's against, and the buyer omitted him from this transaction. His lordship decided that to continue. His lordship, of course, I made a mistake. I make mistakes all the time. His lordship decided to apply the course of dealing between the parties that the AIV's claims succeed in the defendant's appeal. Right, so that basically means if they hold that, the AIV, and they've not discharged the debt, they can sell that. They can basically keep hold of that until title's been pursued. Right, are the plaintiffs entitled to the subs? Right, so we'll read on. I'll read the whole case law. Are the plaintiffs entitled to the sub-purchase now held by the receiver, by both Mr. Price, Mr. Lincoln, and the receiver received these monies for the date? The receiver is properly, if may so, keep these monies separate, as we're told that there were no complications arising out of the money become with the mix with other monies. We become. Hang on, let me put it back on the screen. I'm trying to read this. I'm trying to read this on the camera phone, and it's just I'm trying to move it along so it makes it easy. My battery's dying. Doesn't help. Yeah. There we go. See if we can zoom it in. Oh, that's no. And the point is, and the point is, when we get it focused. Oh, we got focus. So, in fact, I'll just show you and you can read it. And I'll explain it. Instead of me telling you, you can make your own minds up. So I'm just gonna give my mouth a rest because my head's fucking hurting. So clause 13. Mm-hmm. Well, so basically, the role of the clause is a very famous clause explaining how the advantages of it. The advantage of it was to hold the stuff until they pass title or until they pass title and make sure that the both parties agree to a certain meaning, to a certain degree on title, monies, or whatever they wanted in the sense of an agreement of sub purchases and for contract creating, exactly. So it was an agreement until they owed, which is scheduled by price. Price is not the money, but so because the third party would be the consumer or the trustee. But there was, until they have that agreement and stuff, and just basically have that contractual agreement to basically set off the debt. So I'm a bit slow tonight. I'm just fucking trying to sort this out. And my phone's fucking all over the place. So you see all this, it's just... Right, so we're going to... That's the loan for close, and we're going to look at the disadvantages of it, which is here, which will bring in... So this is much better. The disadvantage of the loan, it may be stated that the purchasers of a primary phase he sells as principal is not as an agent for the seller, but the seller will be liable to a sub-purchase in the respect of defective goods or for the breach of undertaking by the buyer concerning the goods. Of the certain disadvantages may flow from inclusion of the loan clause of contract of sale. If the seller retains title to the goods, the risk may remain with him under Section 49 of the goods. I'll carry on reading it. This book here is... I certainly did pass titles for this one. 400 Benjamins. But under the Section 49 of the sales of goods, the seller may retain action for the price as he passed title under the price paid on a certain date, irrespective of delivery. It is therefore important to provide the risk passed to the buyer. The seller may retain action for the price, notwithstanding he retains ownership of the goods. It risks and remains of destruction of the goods, which may avoid the contract. Further, if any adversary right over the goods created by the time a property is passed, may be a breach of undertakers to title implied by Section 12.1, Section 12.2, and the 1970 Act. Yet, practical disadvantage under Section 36.4b of the value added tax availability may be VAT of bad debts in inter-analysis situations where in the supply of goods of properties may have been passed to the person who supplied deriving title through or under that person. Although custom exercise concede entitlement to bad debt relief if the title had been passed to the insolvent debtor by the time the relief was came. If title had been transferred by the liquidator as an agent for the debtor, company made the claim. So it brings in Section 20. This book's brilliant. So risk one. We'll talk about the insolvency So there's your maxim. We'll look at Section 20. See how long we've done. 44 minutes. Let's get back on the camera. So you look at that. Well, Mm-hmm. Oh. So we're going to look at the Insolvency Act. This is the best one. This is the best bit. Mm. Is the bills of well, see, the Insolvency Act is basically where someone becomes financially unstable, but doesn't mean who's financially unstable in the sense of you can't pay the debt, but doesn't mean it's bad, because debt is money. It's how you use good debts and bad debts. Hang on. These books need putting back. I'll probably end up sleeping with them. Right, let's look at the Bills of Sales Act, not the Corona. This one, section. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. Yeah, be so. There we go. Oh, yeah, this definitely fits in what I'm saying. So if you look at that, so it's all in English law. There's all this UCC flying about. It doesn't work, because then it'll bring in section 125. It won't be negotiable because it's used as a security. If the battery dies, it dies. So, dry fucking mouth. So it'd bring in the Bills of Sales Act, which is what governs all your Sales of Goods Act. Because it's all insured, you see. All your goods are insured through the Consumer No. If it'll ever load up. No. We'll get into that one later. State Immunity Act. Well, he doesn't want a show tonight. Oh, there we go. So, you mentioned clause 13 in the vulnerable clause. So, you can have a look through that. You can pause the video. Instead of me talking all the time, I'm sure my voice gets a bit annoying, but I'm just trying to rest my tongue. Would you prefer me talking? It's your choice. It's not always about me. So, which would bring in this book here, The Concept of Security. That's what I was going to do. Let's go and get it. Where is it? I'll have all my books out. Where is it? Give me that book. Good. Where's The Concept of Security? Preface. Oh, there we go. So, I'm going to show you this book. Oh! I just farted. What I'd like to talk about as well is, other than a towel, no, I didn't want to get cameras. Nice camera here. There we go. The concept of security. Oh. Sorry for... And also, look at that one. You look at that. Which, I'll explain it here. So, the whole point of surplus is your national insurance number. That is a surplus. Why? In receipt, yeah. So, as I mentioned about it, your HT pawnbrokers, they hold something on escrow accounts, and I showed you, you can go in, use a check from a bank, and cash that in, and they have to give you that in without clearing it because they offer service. They will charge you, but you're getting something back. But you're still paying tax on it. But I think once you get into real estate and you're inside, you won't have to worry about that because the likes of Bill Gates and all that will just, they know what they're doing, these people at the top. Everyone has a TDA account. So if you want to read that, have a look through, and I'm just trying my best to share information out. If it's a bit unexplained, that's me dyspraxia. I have bad days. But so that's what I've tried to throw in about insolvency, and I'll have a look at the Insolvency Act. So I'll have a look at Schedule B114. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that if it's been. So, not I don't want that schedule. Sorry for. Right, I think if you look at that, I'm gonna call it a night for tonight. So, peace.